Be part of Afternoons with Joe on 102.5 ABC Perth.
Now, you do not have to shave your head or move to a monastery to be influenced by Buddhism. Mindfulness apps, that's Buddhism. Letting go of what you can't control, that is peak Buddhism. And there's a new documentary called Meeting the Buddha that explores the many ways in which Tibetan Buddhism has expanded to the Western world and its place in contemporary life. Its producer, writer and director is Marta György-Kessler, who is in the studio. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Welcome to Perth, Marta.
Thank you.
You discovered Buddhism many, many years ago. Can you tell me about how you were introduced to this way of life?
Well, I was very young and I guess a bit more wider than today. And I think just as many of us was looking a little bit for meaning of life or something like this. Growing up in a communism where you don't have so much in the material level, you are more focusing on inside and you think actually your capital is what you know or what you read and then looking for the truth and the truth. So this was also where we got contacted. And actually I bought a book about Buddha's life and teaching and I was just reading it and I was like, oh, that's simple. This is I like what it says and it's so clear and it's so liberating. Freedom was very important for me, so that was my entree. And then I met Lama Ole.
Now, where did you grow up, Marta?
Actually, I'm Hungarian, but it was a minority in Transylvania, which was Romania. It was a dictatorship and it was a lot of issues, you know, if you have that. And then freedom means a lot to you. It's really kind of, it was my entry card to Buddhism, one can say.
And you read this book and there was something in it that just captivated you.
Yeah, it was, it's more simple. It's like more has to do with you because it's just so liberating and so beyond of this judgmental things and boxes. And it's more about that, hey, just actually the truth is in yourself and you can find the true nature of your mind is not outside. So it was, I could correspond with it very much.
And so from that book, tell us about the journey that you then went on that's led to this documentary, Meeting the Buddha.
Well, it's we have a short time and I will not tell everything. But of course, the next big step and the big thing was actually when I met my teacher. It was Lama Ole Nidal and he came to Budapest and it was just a Western man. And like after reading a few quotes of this book, it's not enough, you just like have some ideas. But then, this guy was just talking so easily and so joyful and it was so relaxing and liberating that I was like, okay. And he said, everybody can do it, everybody can practice. So this is how everything started.
And you started meditating at that point?
Well, we started, using the method, figured it out, and it just really helped us. And it was about to use the everywhere in our life. It was very simple. And we were friends, and of course nearby we were partying, living life as usual, and started traveling, which was also quite enriching, traveling.
And liberating.
And very much. Get to know other cultures and also meeting each other in different countries. It was really something where you literally go beyond your borders.
I'm talking to Marta György-Kessler, who is the writer, director and producer of a documentary called Meeting the Buddha. And I have been asking you to call in if you meditate and share your experiences. Marta, I'm just going to go to Margaret, who's called in from Cottesloe, and she has a tip for meditation that works for her. Good afternoon, Margaret.
Good afternoon.
Is meditating something you do every day, or what's your tip, Margaret?
No, I'd like to, but I don't. But I've discovered even, occasional is helpful. More is better. My story is I tried to meditate many years ago and decided I was a complete failure because my mind wouldn't empty. And then I relearned about it through mindful meditation. And I follow a particular academic in Britain who I've met, and his name is Mark Williams. He's got a whole lot of meditations to do, and I actually teach it to some people. And it accepts that you just do the best you can, that your mind is valuable when it's working, and not to beat yourself up, but just to acknowledge where it's gone when each time it's called the monkey mind, the Buddhist idea of the monkey mind jumping around. It's because you're alive and your mind's working well. but I've had to learn that that's okay.
To guide that monkey mind back, to guide the monkey mind back.
To acknowledge it. It doesn't work totally. You're not going to have an empty mind unless you're dead. So I don't want that. But it's very calming.
Margaret, thank you very much for your call. I really appreciate what you said at the end there. It's very calming. I think as I keep repeating, I need to try the practice again. On the text line, this lovely listener says they've been practicing daily for 5 years and it helps them stay focused. And the best way they think is to explain it is in a saying, leave your front door and your back door open, let thoughts come and go. Just don't serve them tea. And that's from Shunryu Suzuki. Have you heard that saying before, Marta?
I've heard similar sayings. I mean, it's all about the mind, isn't it? And we need some examples to bring it there. I heard saying, just bring the mind back into place. And this is the training, as you just said. So I heard about riding the tiger, that instead of feeding the tiger, you try to ride the tiger. It's more about the emotions as well. It's not only the thoughts, but emotions, which they are really dragging us to do and say things which we actually regret.
You're hearing from Marta György-Kessler, who has produced, directed and written a documentary, Meeting the Buddha. Tell us about the journey you went on to make this film and who you met and who it features.
Well, I mean, it's a long journey, of course, of ourselves, but generally I love biographies, and I think always the true stories of people's life is really inspiring. And the first film I made, it was about Hannah, the wife of Lama Ule. She was a great woman, very inspiring, Hannah Buddhism Untold Journey. After she passed away, and I jumped in this cold pool of filmmaking. It's quite a challenge, yeah. And it's amazing. I mean, I think documentaries and biographies, as I said, it's inspiring very much. And that was my first film, which included a lot of research and filming and figuring out. And the second one came after Hannah because it was a huge interest actually worldwide where I was traveling with the film. People were asking more about 16 Karmapa, who is this Lama? They were asking about Lama Ule Nudal, who is the husband, what is he doing? So this is how we developed there. But clearly it has to do with me where I am so inspired by these stories. It's really, and I think and I hope many people can be inspired or triggered or intrigued or, or you just dislike it. It's also good just to ask the questions.
And you really chart the life of the 16th Karmapa, the Tibetan Buddhist teacher, and then the growth of Buddhism around the world to the West.
Exactly. So this is the topic of the film. And this is, of course, we have many kinds of Buddhism. This is just this kind of Tibetan Buddhism of the Karma Kagyu lineage, the lineage of the Karmapas. And this shows also through the life story of the Karmapa, Lama Ule and other lamas, how this transmission arrives to the West and is accessible to thousands of people. I mean, it's interesting if it's North America, South America, Latin America, Russia, Europe, Australia, New Zealand, wherever it goes, and people can practice it from all walks of life, and this is about.
Do you think people would be surprised to know just how many aspects of modern life lend themselves to the teachings of the Buddha?
I think so, because I guess there are a lot of concepts, which is understandable, but actually Buddha's teachings are timeless, and there are a lot of different kind of Buddhism, if we talk about Buddhist teachings, which we can use and methods. Everybody can take a piece of cake what works for oneself. Because Buddha gave 84,000 teachings because he said we are so different, so everybody can find something.
And I think that's something that Viv pointed out, the first caller I had this afternoon. It doesn't really matter what you're trying to focus your mind on. It can be a rose or it could be a religious icon. It's just that training of bringing the mind back to that thing.
Yeah, though I must say one needs some kind of support and teaching about where we bring the mind to. So the method is one thing. We need some teaching there, a little bit of, that's why we have Buddhist teaching in view to understand what's going on outside and inside, to understand the nature of the feelings, the concepts, and why we experience the world the way we do.
And if people want to see Meeting the Buddha, do you have the screenings in front of you? I've got it actually. So you've got a special screening this evening at Event Cinemas in Innaloo. Will
It's a
you be
premiere.
there? The
Yeah.
premiere.
It's a premiere of Australia tonight. So, guys, it's officially sold out, but we still have tickets. So come and find us. Find Jenny. We still have tickets. So if anyone wants to come, don't hesitate. And we have further screenings on the East Coast.
Brilliant. I don't have the East Coast, but we're just talking to Perth here. And thank you so much for coming in and filling us in about your documentary.
Thank you very much. All the best for everyone. Amazing.
Marta György-Kessler there, and the film is called Meeting the Buddha.